Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and another JAC review here at JAC Cars Pasig. So I'd like to thank them so much for making this set of reviews possible and everyone involved in this video. Now, it's about time that I review one of their best cars in the lineup. So this is the JAC JS6 Flagship. And yes, from the name itself, this is JAC Cars flagship model. I want to see what the fuss is all about since this is actually one of the most underrated cars here in the lineup. And the design itself, it kind of looks like a bigger brother only of the JS4. So I have a separate review of that. Check it out on my channel. You have a ground clearance of 160 millimeters. You get a very long LED light bar that stretches all the way here to the DRLs itself, and this act too as your turn sequential lights. And remember, are your main headlights like with the rest of the JAC models. And these are running on 235 55 18 series tires, so a little bit bigger now than what you get in the JS8 Pro. Side mirrors, you get sequentials too with cameras underneath. And now for the cost of all of this one stands at 1,380,000 pesos. So a bit more expensive now than the JS8 Pro. So I want to see now on how this fares now as the flagship model of JAC. And you can tell this is already the flagship model. The only one with glass struts for the engine hood itself. Now, this again caught my interest. Pairing this is exactly what you get in the JS8 Pro. This is a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that produces 189 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque, mated to a 6-speed dual-clutch transmission. I want to see now too on how it fares out now, being a bit smaller and lighter than the JS8 Pro. And one key detail that I have not seen with the JS8 Pro, since it was all covered in plastic. And one of the coolest engine covers I've seen, because this thing is so soft. It's not the usual hard plastics what you get in some of the crossovers out there. Now here on the side profile of the JS6 Flagship, well, the dimensions, again, it's a little bit similar that what you get with the JS8 Pro. And like with that vehicle, you get cladding here on the side profile, but it's not as plenty as some like of the crossovers. No offense to the JS4 model. And you all know me, I'm not a big fan of chrome, but this entire strip works for me because it acts to like a floating roof design right here on the rear quarter panel, and you get roof rails with a sunroof. Now here at the rear of this JS6 Flagship, well, the design-wise is probably as generic as some of the crossovers out there, but it makes up for it. You get a full functioning LED light bar, and I love the little lightning or the J logos underneath here. And to be honest, with the design of this rear, looks like that of the race car that I drove earlier this year and twice. Anyways, and what I like too with this JS6 model, you get two real exhaust tips on either side. It's not the fakery that what you get in the JS8 Pro. And of course, you get an electronic tailgate. So with all of the seats up, this one stands at 670 liters, which is pretty big. Yeah, the floor is pretty high, but at least there's not much of a loading lip. And yeah, look at that. I can easily lie down here. And underneath, you get a space saver donut type tire. And I think, if not mistaken, there's some space here to put the tonneau cover. Again, like with the JS8 Pro, it comes as standard. And of course, it will double once you fold all of the seats down at more than 1,000 liters. And you get an halogen light here on the left side, along too with a weirdly positioned 12-volt socket. Now, this is the interior of this JS6 Flagship. Now, this is more like it. Here in the door card, it's actually one of the best doors of any JAC model. You get this nice aluminum-ish mesh here, along too with leather with a lot of dots on them, and a nice texture too on the speakers. So there's a lot more thought now being put with the design here in the interior. It looks actually really good. What's the same though, I will admit, is the steering wheel. I wish they did a little bit better, but hey, what am I to complain about? So you get your cruise control functions on the left side and your phone connectivity and instrument cluster adjustments on the right side. However though, finally too, you get paddle shifters, which was absent in the JS8 Pro. So yeah, it may be plastic, but what am I to complain about? At least now there is a manual mode. Here on the left side of the dashboard, you get your headlight leveler and side mirror adjustments, along too with two functioning buttons for your electronic stability control and for your electronic tailgate. So I think this entire piece of buttons is exactly the same to what you get in the JS8 Pro. And unlike that vehicle, I love this mesh piece that stretches all the way to the right side of the passenger seat, and there's even ambient light on it. And once as well you're idle and it detects the key, it does a little light dance too while at standstill. And this JS6 flagship is dominated by two 12.3-inch screens, one for your instrument cluster with just little adjustments, and one for your infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along too with a 360-degree camera. So here's for your 2D mode, there's dynamic guidelines and you can do a lot, and you can do a way lot more now if you go to 3D mode. The quality, I wish again it was a little bit better, but hey, at least there still is, and it's pretty responsive. And below you get a wireless charging pad, touch sensitive controls for your climate control, and weirdly enough the hazard button is here. And a bit weird too, the car is off, even though I have the key, I cannot activate it at will. So anyways, and further down the console itself, you got a much larger cabby space along too with ambient lighting, a 12-volt socket, and one Type A USB port. And back here, you get your rotary shifter, two cup holders, and an extra cabby space for your coins, electronic parking brake, auto hold function, and an addition now compared that of the JS8 Pro. This one is an M mode rather than the sport mode. Hence, you have the paddle shifters itself. And then open the center console box up. It opens like most premium cars would do. Get a lot of space too. And there's a cooling adjustment too right inside. So very handy if you wanna place your drinks here and keep them cold at all times. Glove box. Oh, they're exactly the same. So a bit weird with that one. And on my observation only. So for now, the JS4, JS8, and this JS6 have the exact same space for the glove box itself. But hey, at least it's really long in length, but the height, yeah, it's really short. And above here, you get your panoramic sunroof controls, sunglasses holder, and remember too, the sunroof stretches all the way to the rear seats. As you can see, there's a lot of light coming in here to the cabin. Visor vanity mirror, oh, with LED lights. Oh, come on. At least it has a ticket clip holder. And another big plus too with this JS6 flagship are this aviation leather style seats. Really comfortable, a lot of bolstering, surprising, but again, it's still very comfortable to sit in. And exclusive for my side, you get lumbar and electronic adjustments for the seats and memory functions too. How about that? And the right front passenger seat as well too gets electronic adjustments. And here are the rear seats of this JS6 flagship. Here in the door card, pretty much the same like the ones in front. And I would say to the build quality, it's probably the best one I've encountered so far. Even that sounds really good. So you get two map pockets behind both front seats, and here in the middle, you get two air conditioning vents, two Type A USB ports, and a cabby space down below. And the space is actually really good. So even that a bit better than that of the JS8 Pro. Well, not in terms of the headroom. There's no lump here like that you get in the JS4 model, but still, that's really good. And if I sit here in the middle, not much of a transmission tunnel, so you can literally put your feet whereabouts, and central armrest with two cup holders with just flimsy grips on them. And the seats here too are a big plus. So wherever you sit, it's just comfortable as ever. And haven't said this too in a long time. You get pop-out isofix anchor points on either side.
Para mapanggamas yun.
Now, first dive with this JS6 flagship. So you get tilt and telescopic, which is good. And now let's put it to drive. So a little bit of a shudder from a cold start only, but not this time since we properly warmed up already. And like with the dual clutch transmission of the JS8 Pro, well, hence the same drive time, I expect the same performance, but now having manual mode, let's see how this is like. Oh wow, she flies. And again, like that of the JS8 Pro, this is very, very smooth, even though this is a drive type dual clutch transmission. Among one of the better drive types that I've encountered in actually all vehicles with this type. I'm very impressed. And the shifts, even manual mode, up or down, is very good too. It's not the fastest in the world out there, but it gets the job done at least. And the ride comfort, I can tell immediately, this is one of the most comfortable JAC vehicles I've tried out so far. I mean, it glides over the humps here in this tight part here in the streets of Pasig. It literally drives over them with ease. Now let's go to the Landers test route and have a little bit of a bumpiers and handling test. And first impressions immediately with this vehicle is, I would say, is top notch. And again, with the panoramic sunroof, there's people doing TikTok there. Hello, sorry. And then off the line, and if you're just accelerating, I don't feel of any of the jerkiness at the moment. This is really good. And here's that big bump. That's really soft. I mean, there's some firmness to it, but it settles down quite quickly. I kind of like it. And just here, drive mode, and you just accelerate. A bit of a delay, but once you get going, you get going. Wow. Right, so having 300 Newton meters and 189 horsepower on the top, it's really peppy. Well, a little bit more peppy than the GS8 Pro. The numbers, though, I will admit, it's not as fast as I hope. However, it's very smooth and will, of course, get you up to speed quite quickly. And let's try again, manual mode. I don't see any driving modes here whatsoever, but I think this is just it when you put in manual mode. And here, manual, first again, you accelerate. A bit of a delay, but oh, that's all right. A bit delay on the downshift, but again, it's not so bad. U-turn test, okay, it's pretty good too. It's very tight. And let's turn now, manual mode, then okay, it will automatically upshift too, even though you are in a manual mode. And here now, let's start this handling test. Wow, okay. This is actually really, really fun to drive. Not to my surprise though, but if you're having so much fun with this vehicle, this is still as fuel efficient, surprisingly, as the GS8 Pro, even though this has minus 2 seats, being 5-seater only. It says here in the tip computer, 8.2 kilometers per liter. Not bad for a very powerful crossover, and it's just a conventional combustion engine. I'm very impressed with this. So at 1,380,000 pesos, I think this is a steal, and this has way bigger discounts too than that of the JS8 Pro. This is worth every penny. So one more time. Woo! Brakes are really strong too. It's very stiff. Wow. So I was not expecting this kind of drive with this JS6 Flagship, but now I kind of understand now why this is their, hence the name, flagship model. So yeah, that concludes my test drive review of this JS6 Flagship. So again, I'd like to thank everyone involved at JAC Cars Pasig for making this review possible. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more reviews here coming right up. Bye-bye.